Hey up and welcome to the second part of the best bridge in Holland. At the end of part 1 I was trying to push one of my platoons across the canal so I can secure the woods on my left flank and get some tanks across so I can dominate the objective. The problem is, thanks to the canal embankment, the far side is effectively a good reverse slope position, so I'm having a lot of trouble actually seeing the enemy, never mind putting enough lead down in their direction to let me move around without getting shot at. I did sort of see this coming, which is why this artillery barrage is coming in. These are 81mm mortars on a short, heavy barrage to try and wipe out anybody hanging around in those woods. The problem with this is it's pre-planned, so it's locked to terrain and where I think the enemy is, not necessarily where he actually is. In hindsight, smoke would have been better, but hindsight isn't going to help very much now. You can just see, I'm about to zoom in, it's one of my Panthers is moving up to a different hull down position on the embankment. Yeah, here we go. And I've been trying to sort him out so he can get a good view over those fields. But it's like everybody can see him. That was a 75mm shell from a Sherman, probably. Everyone seems to be able to see that Panther, but that Panther doesn't seem to be able to see anybody back, which is aggravating. Now I keep missing the actual hits here because I'm zooming around like a madman, but you can hear him in the background pinging off the front. This is why I like the Panther. Bounce, bounce, bounce. All the shells are just coming straight off. A bit of smoke developing nicely at the ford there. I'm pushing another infantry squad across, and we can just about hear a Sherman, or I assume it's a Sherman, an enemy tank coming up to the edge of those woods there. And I don't know what that was, blowing up at the ford. I hope that wasn't artillery, that was something big. More casualties. I said this was going to be a high casualty exercise, and I've been wrong so far. And the infantry at the ford have just spotted Sherman on the other side of those woods there. Now the turn's finished here, but if we just zoom in on the Panther, you can see the frontal armour here, the front and the turret. It's angled quite nicely, all the shots are just bouncing off. And hopefully the Panther is going to see that Sherman, which is just cruising out into the middle there. Another gratuitous explosion over at the ford on top of my unfortunate infantry. Boom! There we go. That's a Sherman. Straight through the turret there. And one of the Panthers at the ford has nailed that thing, which it was a Priest self-propelled artillery piece. That's hopefully what's been shelling the ford. Hopefully that kind of blatant abuse is going to stop now. Somehow that Sherman's still alive. It's pop smoke and it's rolling back. My infantry down here are getting hammered. I've been trying to push them over the embankment, but I don't have that fire superiority. The enemy infantry are just chewing them up. On the plus side, whenever I see a Sherman, this happens. So I'm winning the armour battle at least. Whether I should have tried to win this before I tried to push my infantry across is debatable. By which I mean, I'm probably wrong on this. I'm trying to crawl one squad across the embankment, the other one's trying to run across, and most of them are still sat on top of it, bleeding to death. You can just about see in the farmhouse there, or whatever, next to the bridge, there's some enemy infantry. That's a good position for them. They can see right down the line of the embankment, and they're probably the ones who are picking off my poor infantry as they struggle across the embankment. And he's got another Priest up by the farmhouse. That was another 105mm load of hate on top of my poor infantry. And to try and give them a hand, I'm hurling a metal box at the enemy. It's a very angry metal box and it's blowing things up and shooting things with a machine gun. This is a bad idea. Infantry goes first, tanks go second, unless you're exploiting, and I'm not exploiting here. But that convenient smoke in the field over there has shielded it off from that side. Doesn't look like there's actually that much enemy infantry in the woods, which makes it a little bit more galling that my infantry on the fort is getting the crap shot out of it. See, we've got people on the left there, tucked away into the woods. There we go, he's just sat up. Little bugger. And there's those in the farmhouse back there. And I'm thinking, let's push up with the Panthers and keep going up that road and see what happens. I say see what happens. I've knocked out one Sherman up there. I've probably seriously damaged another. The infantry's not fighting back. Let's punch through. There's probably some kind of squidgy, juicy mortar teams or HQ teams at the back who can overrun. It's going to throw him onto the back foot. Why is the turret traversing? Crap. Oh dear. Well, at least the first shot bounced off. Another one missed. Well, that was from the Hellcat on the other side of... Oh dear. That's knocked out somebody important. Another shot from the Sherman in the middle. Boom. So he's got 3 Shermans up there. Crap. 1 dead Panther. Not good. I'm now hoping that Panther number 2, which I sent to follow it, is going to not go that fast, and I'm going to run out of turn so I can adjust the orders. There we go. Thank God for that. On go the brakes, and we are now going to reverse the hell out of this death trap. Well played to Chris. It's 1 dead Panther off, I've got 3 left. This Panther, now that it's across, might as well take up positions so it can cover the objective. Hopefully get on with that priest and that Hellcat over on the far side. The Hellcat is a scary piece of work. It's a later war tank destroyer. This is the Panther which was covering the road. He's just nailed a priest. He can't quite see the Hellcat, which is a bit aggravating. The Hellcat can see it, and it's trying to knock out the tank commander with MG fire. In the middle, my middle Panther has finally got its eye in on that Sherman stuck out in the field. There we go. There goes that. Now, the only thing really bothering me now is that Hellcat. I know there's those 2 Shermans back there. We'll see what happens with them. This Panther on the right can see the Hellcat. It doesn't seem to be wanting to actually shoot it though, which is kind of annoying. Despite that lovely flanking shot there. But my Panther, which got over the river and lived, can see it. It's not very far, it's about 500 meters. Boom. Goodbye Hellcat. Meanwhile, my infantry at the fort is still taking a hammering. I've redeployed my centre reserve platoon back into 1st Platoon's half tracks. That way, because I don't think working that flank is going to work, I'm going to redeploy it. Oh look, something's trying to sneak up on my Panther. That's interesting. So the Panthers got orders to pop smoke and then rush through the smoke on the basis that hopefully that might stop that from happening. Obviously that didn't work very well. It's been shot at arse. It's been shot at the arse again. It's immobilised, one of the crew's dead. It's still happily shooting away at things though, that's okay. Another shot to the rear. So that Panther's there, that's stuck. My other Panther that got across is dead. I have 2 Panthers left. But Chris has got to be running short on tanks now. I can't remember how many have I blown up now. 2 Shermans, 2 priests, and a Hellcat. He probably has just the 2 Shermans left to ambush the dead Panther. They're up at the farm on the left. One of them's probably behind the Panther that just got shot. Okay. They're all on that side probably. My platoon that's crossed over there has got the crap shot out of it. It's basically out of the fight and it's not achieving anything. So, let's keep up the fire with my 2 Panthers which are hull down behind the embankment. Let's try and polish off those 2 Shermans. If my mobilised Panther is still hanging around by then and it hasn't gotten killed, it can hammer the objective, like was the plan in the beginning. My reserve platoon is redeployed into the half tracks and I can pick another ford to attack. I say another ford. It's either the bridge, which I'm still not doing, or the right hand ford. Maybe we're going to be able to pull that off. Hopefully I've suckered Chris into redeploying his reserves, if he has reserves, into those woods on my left. I don't know, we'll see. It's cut-off time again, I'm afraid. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe, guys, and we'll get to the conclusion in the next video.